We'll loop back again, okay? Okay, Mr. Christopher.
Yeah, so I was reading some of your statements on the website, and you were talking about the universe's quest for potential,
Right.
and that being a quest toward greater complexity and sophistication. You're also saying that humanity is the highest point of sophistication that the universe has produced. You've also said, though, that your hypothesis is compatible with the belief in a deity.
Right.
And I'm wondering, isn't a deity, by definition, a more sophisticated entity than humanity? And what does that mean if deity predates humanity for humans' quest for that sophistication? Haven't we already been lapped, essentially?
Okay, so this is a crucial divide, this question. Yes, God or no God? Or yes, class of God or no class of God? So I'm going to answer you very directly. Book number 1 assumes a class of God. Generally, people write metaphysics right through a religious modality, whether it's Jewish or Christian or Buddhist, because you need some context. So I write it universal, but in a Jewish context. Okay, because that's the context I'm familiar with. Okay. And that book endeavors to finesse 3 questions in religious philosophy, which are challenge Jewish philosophy, Jewish religious men. Where did God come from? Why is there evil? And where is God? Okay. When all is said and done, there is a slight loose end. Let's say I can finesse it 98%, but I can't finesse it 100%. Book 2, Summa to a spiritual man. Spiritual man is a cleaner deal, philosophically. And it can be, spiritual man, I'll directly answer your question. We're brought up in almost any religion that God is there, we are here. But what if it's one? What if we're an extension of the divine? It's one entity. Not only one entity, it's one ongoing infinite entity. And to take it a step further, which is what I alluded to earlier, what if the entity in its present form is the universe in its present form? Meaning that, what if the entire universe is divine? We're part of it. We're a feedback loop to it. We're feeding back to the central processor of the universe. Then philosophically, it turns out to be a clean deal. So you say, am I autonomous or am I not autonomous? Am I part of the central process mechanism or am I not? You have a whole other cluster of questions that, well, how does this work? How might this work? But actually, all these can actually be dealt with relatively elegantly. Not perfectly, but relatively elegantly. Yes, I'm autonomous, but yes, I'm feeding back to the central cumulative consciousness. Yes, I have autonomy and privacy, yet, as a general principle, the universe as a whole is all-knowing. How much invades our privacy or not, that has to be dealt with. But it's the same question when you ask the same question. It's a parallel question that I asked in Volume 1. Why is it evil? And where did it all come from? Now you have just a broader question. Where did this whole production come from? But I'm now going to ask the question which you have to ask to fully deal with your question. Well, where did it all come from? And how did it all start? Because you have to deal with that to somewhat adequately deal with your questions. Okay. What if initially there was what I call 0? But not the number 0, just 0, whatever that means. And what if 0 wanted fulfillment? Which nothing I'm saying now is so revolutionary. It's been said in different terms. And what if to reach fulfillment, it had to create a universe? And what if to reach fulfillment and have emotion and spirituality, intellectuality, and mercy, and love, etc., etc. It had to create, at some point, humanity as we know it. So then you see actually a nice trajectory. We're all part of it. We're all part of a build-out. You're trying to build out your life. The universe is trying to build out the universe. How can a zero have emotion? Not by itself, only through you. Only through building out to the point it actually reaches people with emotion. At some level, creates people with emotion. So, it actually all fits together relatively nicely there. Now, can we say that religion, class religion, is heading towards that, was searching for that, but couldn't quite reach it, and did the best that it could? Absolutely. Absolutely, you can say that. Does anyone here think that any of the great Greek philosophers would object strenuously to this schema? Unlikely they would object to it. They might say, I have to think about it. Because it might be where they were heading also. It might be. It's elegant. It's clean deal. One concept. Quest potential. Now, why that concept? Because you have to answer a question. What concept might be eternal? So I spent about 15 plus years on this. And the only concept that came up with which might be eternal is potential, not quest potential, pure potential. I can say with certainty that potential always existed. How do I know? Because you exist. So therefore, there must have been a potential for you to exist. I can say with certainty, not 99%, 100% certainty, that pure potential always existed. But how does pure potential get to quest potential? I don't know. I have a gap there, but it's not a contradiction. There's a gap in my theory. I don't know how I get from pure potential to quest potential. First, you have to have, and maybe I'm not at the level of consciousness that I can deal with that question yet. Maybe you have to fast forward 1,000 years to get to our level of consciousness where we can deal with that question. I doubt if 2,000 years ago we had the level of consciousness to deal with a theory as it exists today. I doubt it. And today, it goes past many, so to speak, brilliant people. Some people sort of catch on to it, and some people just, they have no clue what I'm talking about whatsoever, including my kids. I have 3 kids. One of them grabbed onto it very young, and it's almost my sounding board. And the other 2, okay, they're slowly getting into it. It's just so interesting, the same family, right? So you have to, so it has to hit you somehow. You have a follow-up? You have a follow-up at this point? All right.
Well, I guess I did want to, you were talking about potential versus the quest for potential, and that does suggest something that I was thinking about, which is that you do seem to use potential, the word potential, in 2 ways. One in the sense of infinite potential, as in being more or less synonymous with possibility,
right.
And the other as in quest for potential, meaning a type of goal or a best state, something that can be sought after. And I just wondered if you would want to clarify or discuss that divide.
We use potential in several ways, right?
Yeah.
Right. I use it as a quest, as a noun. It's used in many which ways, and I think it is a very multifaceted dynamic. One can say that the entire universe is potential. One could say that you are really a potential. While you're questing your potential, you actually are a potential. You're not just flesh and bones. You're not just smarts and assets on a balance sheet. You are a pure potential. That's very profound. You're not, in other words, humans are not so human. First of all, they're divine, and second of all, they're potential. And because what makes us roll, for 50 to 120 years, what's the drive driving it forward? And what makes people in a seemingly impossible situation pick themselves up and 15 years later on top of the world, defying all belief? So I think if you plug in this concept, you have room to maneuver. Remember, I'm one person. I have my life experience and what I've viewed and seen in life, directly or indirectly. I say to people, first it has to be established as a working hypothesis. I'm not the only person who says this, that this particular theory should be accepted, at least by groups of academics as a working hypothesis. Then you can work it through. You have to discuss it, deal with it. Right now we're in a position of, it's not even a global working hypothesis, and we're stabbing at different side points of it. Did that sort of address that second question? Or do you want to, in this case, ask a third question?
It did address it. Yeah, I'm still feeling that there's perhaps different types of potential, and I don't always feel that I know which type of potential you're using when you talk about it. It's because you can use this word potential, which is a bit, I don't want to say vague, but
It's amorphous, right?
amorphous.
Right.
It has different possibilities. So
Right.
I'm not always sure what you mean when you say potential. Do you mean goal potential? Do you mean possibilities potential?
So, okay. If someone says to me, I have daughter, son, married, single, right? With children, and single. So, let's say my son is 23. He graduated NYU, business school. He starts with J.P. Morgan, August 25th, 26th, coming up. So as a father, I deal continuously with his potential, right? Since he's young. And it's a very big question, and we're all we stab at it. As a parent, you stab at it. Or even as a friend, you stab at it. To assess the situation. Given how I see his assets, his smarts, his capabilities, and the landscape out there, which is a moving target, right? The landscape out there is a moving target as we speak. And he's a moving target, right? There are at least two moving targets here. What's his best bet on the chessboard? Does he join me in business here, or does he go to J.P. Morgan? So we pushed him hard, strongly to go that route, to start out that route. The calculus being, yes, he might go the distance there in the financial world, or he might segue out. But given my assessment of his possibilities, his prowess, and the landscape out there, his business and J.P. Morgan business, my business, weighing everything best I can, I urge him along that route. It's not a pure science. We're all of us are gambling every day, placing our bets every day. What do we do? What do we study? What job do we get? We're trying our best. We want to be in a position for the next job. We want the next stepping stone in our careers. We want the next step in our intellectual and/or spiritual advancement. We're all making these calculations, but I'm saying I frame it out, try to wrap it together, netting out everything together. What axis, what line of attack is your best potential? And you have to always say short-term, medium-term, and long-term. Yes, in the long-term we're all dead, but still we want to give the possibility there that the long-term flowers. You don't want to preclude a possibility. Classic question. Which position do you take? Do you take a position at J.P. Morgan, a very nice position, or someone said to you, I guarantee him some $150,000 a year, tax-free for life, be the doorman at this Park Avenue building. And every year, $150,000 tax-free will be deposited in your account. And all you have to do is be the doorman. What do you say? One path is risk, and the other path is seemingly risk-free. But we all know the answer. The Park Avenue doorman for life is death. It's a death sentence. You do not want that axis. It's minimal growth, minimal possibility, minimal challenge. And I play further. I'm very bad. I say the old Garden of Eden saga. Remember the Garden of Eden saga? Which tree does they take? The tree of life or the tree of knowledge? I say that was the same question. Is it J.P. Morgan or is it the doorman? Is the tree of knowledge with J.P. Morgan? of course, you have to be lucky to get to that position. And the tree of life was the doorman. Bliss, no risk. And mankind, we all rejected the doorman option at Eden. That's really what it's saying. I'm bad, I know, but it works perfectly.